Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are South.
It's a beautiful day for baseball in Atlanta. Up in the air. It's a chilly day, believe it or not, here in Atlanta, Georgia. And hopefully the weather will help the Braves cool off the surging New York Mets, who are winners of 6 consecutive games. Atlanta tries to avoid a 4-game sweep, something the Mets have never done to the Braves in Atlanta history. Hi again, friends, with Tom Glavine, Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Welcome back to the ballpark with this cool, crisp weather, Joe. Perhaps a cool, crisp pitching performance from Ryan Weber, who makes his home debut for the Braves today.
Yeah, with what you're talking about with that sweep on the line, Chip, it's a lot of weight on a guy making only his second big league start, but his first one was a beauty in Philadelphia. He came up short. He didn't get any run support. He got shut out. But I thought he pitched wonderfully. He had a real good sinker and changeup working, Tom. I think you're going to enjoy watching him pitch.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about him from people. Things like aggressive, confident, attack the strike zone. And in that outing, only 2 fly ball outs. So he's going to need to do that again today. This is going to be a great test for him against this Mets lineup. So I'm looking forward to seeing him go out there and hopefully continue to do what he did against Philadelphia in his last start.
And his mount opponent will be Jonathan Neese, who has been struggling of late for the New York Mets, and really is the only guy in rotation who struggled because the Mets and their skipper Terry Collins are rolling merrily along. It's the series finale, the Braves and the Mets on a beautiful day for baseball in Atlanta. We'll get to first pitch right after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Presented by Hyundai.
It's time for Braves baseball. Game 4 of our series with the New York Mets. It's a perfect day for baseball and a perfect day for a selfie with Freddie Freeman. And the youngsters on the field, Tommy, I know have a special place in your and your lovely wife Chris's hearts.
That's awesome. Yeah, they do. Representing childhood cancer, obviously September being Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So Braves and several teams in Major League Baseball are doing their part to raise awareness, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that as the game goes on, but it's great to see.
Game sure has changed. They used to want to get an autograph. Now it's a selfie.
Now it's a selfie, yeah.
Unbelievable. As the Mets come to town, and they are doing great things. Mets have 81 wins on the year. They're trying to complete a 4-game series sweep. They are resting more regulars today, and that's the Academy Sports lineup. The young Ryan Weber will face in his home debut today.
Yeah, whatever lineup it is, he'll have his work cut out for him. You see his numbers over the course of the year, AA, AAA combined, and great start in his debut in Philadelphia.
And his first pitch to Curtis Granderson is off the plate. We're underway. And a strike, says Tim Timmons. It is a beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. 71 degrees at first pitch, but a very brisk wind blowing straight in. So it feels a lot cooler than 71.
It's nice. Nice.
High fly ball to right, and that one's playable for Nick Markakis. Back pedals, one out. A rare fly ball out.
Ryan Weber's 25 years old, 6'1", 170 out of St. Petersburg, Florida. His Ford keys to pitching success today, when he's already accomplished one of them. But the second time through the order is when the Phillies made some adjustments on him, so he'll have to be ready to counteract that today. And leading off innings, it seems like the Mets have been getting their leadoff man on just about every inning. He's got to try to control that today the best he can.
Daniel Murphy is the batter. And he takes a little low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, it seems virtually every inning that the Mets have gotten a leadoff guy on by way of a walk, those guys seem to find their way around and score.
Murphy's hit 10 homers. He's knocked in 59 runs. And I think it'll be fun to see what adjustments Weber makes on this great pitcher's day. Got the ball on the ground a lot against the Phillies up north at Citizens Bank Park. You don't figure to be hurt by fly balls today.
No, but you don't necessarily want to think that way. You know, I think in a ballpark like Philadelphia, you go in knowing, man, I better keep the ball on the ground as much as I can. As well as that work for him, that should be his mentality every time he goes out.
Fly ball center. Michael Bourne's got plenty of room. And Murphy flies out softly. 2 up and 2 men down.
Well, he's equaled his fly ball out total already from his last start. So.
Yes, he's a smart guy, too. He's using that wind, I guess. But since July 8th, home runs, the Braves are 29th in baseball. The 2 teams that are coming in here back-to-back are the Mets and Toronto. They're tied for the most home runs since July 8th. So, again, it would behoove him to keep the ball down no matter what the wind's doing.
Off the plate to Lucas Duda, who's hit 21 homers and a .246 average. He's knocked in 57 men this year. The thing, Tommy and Joe, we noticed immediately about Weber, nothing is straight.
Well, and a good curveball, too. I like it. It's got good tilt on it. There's the change.
Yeah, I mean, if you can sink it and move it and throw it in all 4 quadrants, you got a chance. I don't care how hard you throw. And that's the one thing everybody said about him, is he attacked the zone and was confident.
Oh, look at that hook. Bethancourt held it there for an extra moment, but Timmons called it a ball. 2-2. Another fly ball, another chance for Michael Bourne. And he will make the play in front of Adonis Garcia and welcome home Ryan Weber. 3 fly ball outs, retires New York in the first. Studded Sunday here at Turner Field. And there's our pal Craig Sager at the ball game today.
Thrilled to see him here with his family enjoying the ball game on a cool blustery day. Craig's looking great.
Looking good. Colorful sweater. Imagine
stylish, man. What else?
Shocker.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
Way to go, Sags. Look forward to hopefully catching up sometime soon. Hopefully the Braves can catch up to Jonathan Neese. He's the Mets starter. Here's the Atlanta lineup. Braves have both Garcia and Oliveira in the lineup back to back. And Jonathan Neese could use a good start. He's struggled of late in rotation for New York. And he's greeted with a bouncing ball to second. And Murphy with a short hop throw to first. And Markakis aboard on the game's first pitch in the bottom of the first inning for the Braves.
Tough play, but I think a good throw might have gotten him. How about a base hit for a tough play?
We await the ceremonial coin flip on the official scoring decision. And it's an infield hit.
There we go.
All right. 163rd hit for Nick Markakis. Daniel Castro, the batter. This young man had a super night here on Friday.
See Neese's numbers there in the year, 8 and 10, but his last 4 starts, as you mentioned, have been a struggle. Not bad record, 1-1, but a 10.5 ERA.
Doesn't throw hard. High 80s. He might hit 90 once in a great while. Curveball, changeup. Like Weber, he's got to move it around too.
Been really victimized by the big inning in his last few starts. 3 straight starts, 3 straight games. He's allowed 5 or more runs in an inning.
Ooh, Braves could use that.
Two balls and a strike for Castro, and a high hopper hit toward short. Bobbled, one there, and that's all the Mets will get. So the infield defense a little shaky in the early going for New York. Tejada couldn't get a handle, and that saves what looked to be a textbook double play chance.
Fortunate just to regroup in midair there. That ball hit something funny. Might have hit the lip of the grass in front of home plate. Took a high hop.
Freddie's got a 4-game hitting streak. 5 hits in that stretch. And he unloads to right. Granderson, though, is going to have a play. Got to hit it under radar if you're going to have a chance to go deep today. 2 outs. And Adonis Garcia, 6 of his 8 homers have come here at Turner Field.
Well, that was a big one last night. Right off the bench, first pitch he saw, 3-run jack.
Adonis starting for the 4th time for the Braves in left field. He's made 34 starts at third base. One ball, 1 strike. Castro, the Braves runner at first. And that one is foul at the plate. This was a long home run.
High changeup. And that tied the game in the 8th inning momentarily.
Braves got to Tyler Clippard once again, but New York pulled away. Fly ball shallow right. That's going to get down in front of Granderson, and all hands are safe with 2 outs. A blue pit for Garcia, the second Braves hit of the inning.
Braves got a run in the first inning last night. It'd be nice to figure out a way to put a couple on the board here in the first inning this afternoon. Garcia just able to fight that one off.
And Hector Oliveira is the batter. He's hitting 5th today. It is 1 for 9 in the series. Knee high strike. Hector didn't think so.
Wow, 92. That's a real good fastball for Nice there. Ground ball guy. Almost 54% of his outs are by ground ball, and that's 10th best in the major leagues.
That one just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good pitch after that strike 2 fastball up and away. Backdoor cutter.
Now 2-2.
Tommy, as the season wore on and you started getting tired, was it the fatigue a good factor for you than the style of pitcher you were?
Yeah, it probably gave me more sink, more movement. Yeah.
Missed the corner again. Full counts. The runners will leave from first and second.
Well, either he's seeing that ball out there real well or he's sitting on something in.
Launched foul to the right side. Still 3-2. Downstairs, the Braves have loaded him up in the first. This sets up nicely because Andrelton Simmons has had a big series, and he's had great luck this year against the Mets pitching staff.
Well, I know what Terry Collins and Dan Warthen are thinking. They're thinking about that double play ball that wasn't turned, wasn't handled cleanly by Tejada, or else this inning would already have been over.
Yeah, you give a team an extra out. We talk about that all the time. And then particularly for a guy like Nice, who's been susceptible to the big inning lately. I'm sure a part of him is thinking, here we go again, but got to bear down and try and pick up his teammates.
Hamilton's knocked in 8 runs this year against the Mets by way of 25 hits in 54 at bats. It's a .463 average. And he's only struck out 3 times in those 54 at bats. But now it's 0-2. Hamilton, as you know, one of the toughest guys in the game to strike out. Once every 12.9 plate appearances. Ground ball right side. Murphy's got it, and from the outfield grass gets Nice out of first inning trouble. Little shaky defense by the Mets early in the inning, but a nice play strands a trio for Atlanta in the first.
Is September, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Bunch of kids out here today. It's great to see. Got a lot of mom and dads out here too that are going through a journey that I don't ever want to have to go through.
Yeah, tip of the cap to those courageous kids, their parents, and to you and Chris. I know how much this endeavor means to you and your family, and we see all of Chris's posts on Facebook. They're, I mean, heartbreaking, but also so heartwarming when you see what these youngsters are surviving, what they're going through, and the wonderful work you guys are doing. So nicely done, Tommy.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Second inning, Juan Uribe starts things off. A scheduled day off for David Wright today. So Uribe gets the call at the hot corner, where he's hit 13 home runs this year for the Dodgers, Braves, and now the Mets.
The way things are going right now for the Mets, they can waltz to the finish line. He can rest, Terry Collins can rest his players as much as he wants with a 9.5 game lead.
Mets' magic number is 12 games to clinch the division. And a line drive by Uribe is headed for left center field. And he will stop at first with a long single, the first hit of the night, or the day, I beg your pardon, for New York.
Breaking ball, stayed back on it nicely. Pitch was up a little bit. Then Uribe made a big turn and saw Anderson get the ball in and cock his arm like he was going to throw to first. And Uribe ran back real quick and looked back at Anderson. You're not going to get me.
Michael Conforto is the Mets left fielder. Nice stop by Bethancourt. 1 ball, no strikes. Mets have to be fired up with all that good young pitching. Now they've got a good young offensive player that could potentially play every day for them in Conforto. He's hit 6 homers this year.
Yeah, they've got a crowded outfield. Not only figuring out what they're going to do going into the postseason, but for next season as well.
Well, they still have Juan Lagares, Gold Glove winner in the outfield. Great insurance policy if you can't come to terms with Yoenis Cespedes, who's a free agent at the end of this season. I think Michael Kadire has another year on his contract. As this one's rolled slowly and fouled at first. They've got Curtis Granderson still, Neuenhuis, and on and on and on.
They've got Eric Campbell. Haven't even talked about him. Remember earlier this season he was playing a lot at third base when Wright was hurt, and he's also played some left field.
So they have a problem that every team wishes they had. Too many good players and not enough spots. That one's yanked foul.
But isn't that, to me, that's one of the great things about this game, right? I mean, here they are, a team that, and every year it happens. There's a team that comes out of nowhere and is in the playoff hunt or wins their division. They certainly fit that bill for this year. And then how differently were we talking about this team in just a 6-week stretch? I mean, to think that we would have been sitting here 6 weeks ago saying they've got too many good players. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I mean, you would have said that about the pitching staff, maybe. But,
sure.
But from an offensive standpoint, there's no way, Joe, anybody was talking about it like that.
That date I gave you, where since that time they're tied with Toronto in homers, July 8th. On that day, the Braves are a half game behind them for second place.
Fouled away, and Conforto stays alive. So we've talked about it a couple of times in this series, for all the grief that Sandy Alderson took for waiting and waiting and waiting until late July to finally pull the trigger on deals, and only he knows why it took so long. I can't think of a general manager in recent history that has had every single one of those trades be hugely beneficial. I mean, not just incrementally big, hugely big for the Mets.
No, and he made, obviously Cespedes is the big deal,
right,
so to speak, that, everybody was anxious for them to make. But, don't lose sight of all the little pieces that he got before that. The Kelly Johnsons, the Uribes, the Clippard and the Reed guy in the bullpen. I mean, those were all that under the radar move. But, man, those guys have been, you talk about adding some depth and some quality guys. Wow.
Swing and a rocket deep to right field. Conforto hit it under radar and hit it a mile. That was a big league at bat. And New York has struck for 2 in the second inning.
Hit a line drive that reached the terrace level. Kept fouling off curveballs. Was that a fastball?
That was a fastball that stayed up.
An 8-pitch at bat, number 8, turns into home run number 7.
First home run Weber's allowed. We'll see how that affects him.
And here's Kirk Neuenhuis, who took a strike.
That leadoff man reaching.
Yep.
Again, sets it up.
A rocket toward Nick in right. Can't get it. It's over his head, up against the bullpen gate. Three straight New York hits. And Neuenhuis has his 7th double.
Did Nick misjudge that? Or was it just hit that hard that he didn't have time to get back on it?
I don't know if it was one of those ones that maybe was hit a little harder than he thought, or I know sometimes those ones that are right at you and kind of over your head are a little bit tougher to judge. But
so 3 consecutive hits, 2 runs are in, nobody is out. Here's Ruben Tejada. And Bethancourt with a new set of signs with a runner at second base.
That may have even hit his glove. Can't be sure of that, but it looked like it might have skipped off his glove.
The wind blowing toward the right field corner. And Conforto and Neuenhuis have hit rockets that way. And skips up there, 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, here's where you got to manage the inning. Stay out of the big one. Nice has had struggles lately. He's given up runs. He's been susceptible to the big inning. Keep this thing under control.
And that's what he was able to do in Philadelphia. Some leadoff extra base hits in each of those 2 innings that led to runs, but he was able to get ground balls and double plays to avoid a big inning in each instance.
And same with Perez last night, in and out of trouble. Easily a game you could have given up 7 or 8 runs, didn't have hung in there, and eventually the Braves offense tied the ball game late.
Two balls, 1 strike for shortstop Ruben Tejada. Well, the one thing you know about Weber is he's going to be around the strike zone. As a professional pitcher, he's only walked 92 men in almost 577 career innings. So hitters know that. They know he's going to be around the plate. fouled off a great number of pitches already in the game. Weber's thrown 32 of them, and he's yet to record an out here in the second.
Well, that's what good hitters try to do, spoil your good ones and make you keep making them, hoping that you're going to make a mistake eventually.
Still 3-2.
Not going to be too fine, I wouldn't think here. Not with the catcher and then Nice on deck behind him, bottom part of the order.
Line to second. Throw back to the bag, and Neuenhuis back safely. So Tejada lines out. A couple of long at bats in the inning. One by Conforto, one by Tejada. And now the catcher Plawecki's coming up.
Another pitch that was up, belt high. But again, 3-2. I didn't expect him to really try to shave a corner. Worked out all right.
And there's a strike to Kevin Plawecki, the pride of Carmel, Indiana. And Purdue. Neuenhuis is going to try to steal third, and he's going to be out. Bethancourt now 7 for 18 in throwing out would-be base stealers.
Trying to do too much there.
Yep.
Wasn't that good a jump.
And now 0-2. Plawecki ducks underneath. Coming into this year, Plawecki, a lifetime .295 hitter in the minor leagues. Not a lot of power. Gets on base. Doesn't strike out an awful lot. Was the Big Ten Player of the Year at Purdue, the first ever Boilermaker to be accorded that honor in their baseball program. And only 24 years old. 1-2 pitch. And now 2-2. It'll take at least 29 pitches for Ryan Weber to get out of the second inning. Uribe singled, Conforto homered. Now there are 2 outs. Payoff pitch to the Mets catcher. And he lost him, a rare walk. And he will face Jonathan Nice, the pitcher.
Not sure I'm thrilled with that pitch selection right there.
Nor I.
Windy day, pitcher on deck, 3-2 count. Make him hit it. You know, try and put yourself in a position where you have the pitcher leading off next inning.
Nice hits a high hopper to Simmons, and he will throw on to first, and that'll retire the side. The Mets got 3 consecutive hits to begin the inning. Michael Conforto hit a line drive homer to right, and the Mets have scored first.
AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
Mets 2, Braves nothing as Atlanta comes up for its second look at Jonathan Nice, and we get our first look at the AT&T Uverse trivia question. Since 2005, Mets outfielder Curtis Granderson's one of 2 active players with 250 or more homers and 140 or more stolen bases. Who's the other player to do that? So for the last 10 years, 250 homers, 140 or more steals.
I wouldn't think that Brandon Phillips has 250 homers, but he's the first guy that came to mind.
I seem to think we've had this question before. So we'll think about that. All help accepted as Christian Bethancourt leads things off for the Braves. Michael Bourne and Ryan Weber will follow. Nice has a 2-0 lead. Broken bat. Uribe at third. Loads up. 1 down. Here's Michael Bourne. Michael hitting 175, but if you just go on batting average, that doesn't even begin to tell the whole story for the way he swung the bat with the Braves.
That's a hard 170.
Well, sooner or later, the baseball gods will smile on it. That'll turn around. Maybe he'll have a stretch where he picks up 15 hits and 25 at bats. That would be a nice way to finish September.
I kind of thought that game in Philly, that 4-hit night, would be the start of something finally for him in terms of some good fortune. But just 1 for 10 in this series. Not altogether uncommon given the pitching staff the Mets have.
Noah Syndergaard was awfully good last night, wasn't he? As Michael pops one up. That one's into shallow left, but Conforto will gather it in. That's out number 2.
Now, what'd you think of Syndergaard, Tom?
Well, you know, much better than the first time we saw him here, but I mean, what's not to like? I mean, fastball in the high 90s, Pretty good breaking ball, pretty good command, and you know, at times that changeup that we saw last night, my goodness.
Yeah. At 90.
Yeah, at 90 with movement. I mean, you know, he's obviously young and getting some experience under his belt, but boy, oh boy, what a foundation he has.
Little roller out toward first. Duda's got that, and Jonathan Neese gets his offense back in play very quickly. We go to the third, 2-0 New York in game 4 of the set. Love looking at those highlights of the man who joins us in the booth at Turner Field today, the one and only Andrew Jones. Good to see you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me again.
You were so good, we had to have you back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a ratings bonanza.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, you made news when you were in the booth with us last time. You said, I want to come back and play next year. Have you begun that process to try to get yourself ready for 2016 somewhere?
I just start working out again. I'm getting there. I start hitting a little bit already. Getting the run in right now. So we'll see what happens. See how the body's getting. It's a little sore right now, but we'll see what happens in another week.
Curtis Granderson leads off for the Mets in the third inning and looks outside. So what is your workout process like? How does that begin for someone who hasn't played at all over the last year or so?
Well, very, very slow. Very, very slow. Just going a lot of stretching first, and trying to get the body right, and so you can do all the warm up.
Granderson flies out. There's the first out of the inning. Daniel Murphy is the batter.
I know near the end of this most recent stretch of play, and I'm not sure about Japan. Did you play center field in Japan?
No.
Where'd you play?
I played center field in the finals.
Okay.
I played 3 games in Tokyo Dome in the finals against the Giants. But after that, I only DH and play first base.
Okay. So what would be your thought going into next season? Same thing?
Probably same thing. I think I think this year I got myself very in good shape early. My legs was ready to play outfield, but I was more concentrated about trying to play first base and take less running out there in the outfield.
And not shortstop?
No, I think the quickness.
Because I know you wanted to.
The quickness got away a little bit.
2 quick outs, and Lucas Duda is the batter. We're visiting with Andrew Jones as the Mets lead 2-0. Has it been tough, Andrew, not playing this year, or did you need the break mentally, physically?
Well, I think in the beginning it was tough, but after that, when I told myself, I was going to take it off, and I enjoyed myself after that. You know, I had a chance to go a lot of trips, you know, play a lot of golf, and, you know, enjoy life. That's about it. You know, I think now coming to the end of the season, you know, I felt like, you know, I think, you know, watching the games and stuff like that, I think I still can get a chance to play. I'm just going to get myself in shape and see if I can get opportunities out there.
Juan Uribe bats with 2 outs. A long time ago, 38 was the end for a lot of guys, but you still look to be in great shape. 38 now is still a time where players can still be very, very productive in the big leagues.
Well, you see a lot of guys, you know, it's just the love for the game. You know, I think if you still love the game and you still have the passion for it, you're going to go out there and get the job done. So you just have to get the opportunity and the right fit and get yourself mentally prepared.
Well, hey, look, Bartolo Colon's 42 years old. You're about 25 pounds lighter than him, so you probably move around out there, right?
Well, you know, I think it's just like I say, get the opportunity and get your mind right. You can get anything done. I'm really proud of Bartolo. I play a year with him in New York Yankees. You know, he's a very, very dedicated guy. He get himself very, very prepared every time when you get a chance to get on the mound.
No balls, 2 strikes for Uribe. Duda at first after being hit by a pitch. Ryan Weber ready. And a shot in the center is going to be caught by center fielder Michael Bourne. Andrew, can you stick around for another half inning?
I'll be around.
That'd be great. All right, 2-0 your score. Mets lead it. We head to the home third. Coming up for the Braves, and here's a biography page of great Andrew Jones.
Where do you have all those gold gloves set up?
Somewhere in my basement.
In your basement, okay.
Yes.
All right.
51 homers 1 year for the Braves as Nick Markakis leads off for Atlanta. I'm always intrigued, Andrew, by guys who go play overseas. As Americans, we're used to baseball in the United States. What's the biggest difference between baseball in America and baseball in Japan, where you played a couple of years?
Well, baseball is baseball everywhere. You know, you got to see the ball and hit it. You got to catch it. You got to play good fans. You got to pitch. So baseball is going to be like that the world, you know, all around the world. I think the biggest difference is the adjustment of the language.
Wow, nice play by Nice, who handcuffed Duda with a hard throw to get Markakis.
Yeah, the language, and that's about it, you know, the culture.
The Braves want to know if perhaps Nice interfered with the progress of Nick Markakis at first base, and apparently they did. Wow. Isn't he entitled to field the ball?
Well, Tim Welke is almost saying that he kind of threw his hip out there to brush Markakis to make it hard for him to get by him. He's in the running lane. Kind of stuck his knee out there.
Yeah, I don't know if his foot was on the bag. Kind of handcuffed him with that throw.
Now, is Terry Collins going to ask for a video review of this play? Apparently so. So the question then is, was the safe call based on the hip throw, or was Duda's foot off the bag receiving the throw at first base?
I watched Welke use a move with his body like he tried to throw himself in front of Markakis. That's what I was basing it on.
He's off the base.
Yeah. So this play is under review. The scoreboard in center shows Duda never got to the bag or didn't keep his foot on the bag. Question is, as he jumped to catch that hard throw, was any part of that shoe or edge of a spike touching the bag when he made the catch? That'll be tough to tell on replay, I would think. Andrew, what do you think of replay? Do you like it? Do you wish it was around when you were in your younger days with the Braves?
Well, I don't know. To be honest with you, I think I got some points and I got some other points.
Right.
You know, it's 50-50. I think. You know, it's human. We're trying to make everything correct, but we're human. We're gonna make mistakes. So you're trying to be as 100% you can, but sometimes the umpire is gonna be wrong. They're going to be right. So
my favorite thing with Andrew is when he used to hit and he used to point down to the umpire for a check on
swing.
his check swings before the catchers did.
Well, you see, I did that because I know the guy behind the plate is not going to see the ball and my swing. So
right.
I'm trying to get a chance with the guy at first base if he was my friend and be like, hey, catch him by surprise and be like, no, you didn't swing.
Daniel Castro, the batter. The call stands. Markakis is safe. That's ruled an infield hit. So he's got another multi-hit game, his 48th of the year. And the Braves bring the tying run to the plate. And Daniel Castro. So you were talking about the cultural differences between the States and Japan. Did you pick up Japanese? You were there for a pretty good time. Did you learn any of the language?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I can defend myself a little bit. I think the main thing is, you know, they're going to give you a translator. You know, you're going to have one every day when you're at the field, you know, when you go to dinner if you want to. But you're not going to wake up the translator in the middle of the night and say, hey, I need to go to the grocery store to get something. So
right.
You got to manage to just live your life yourself, just like when I came to the United States. You know, I know a little bit of English, but, you know, you have to grow into it. And I think that's the main thing.
Did that experience coming to the Braves help you in that experience in Japan to a certain degree?
No doubt. You know, I think you go to a different culture. You know, I think when I came here the first time, it was a totally different culture when I get here. It's a big country. I have to adjust to different people, mingle with people, learn people. So I think that helped me very well when I went to Japan.
I'm not saying that you're fluent in Japanese, but how many language does that make for you now?
I see.
Throw's going to come to third. Uribe wisely cuts it off. No advance by Castro. Poked one through the right side. And the Braves have men at the corners with nobody out.
Dutch, Portuguese, Spanish, English. Papiamento.
Yeah. About 5, 6 if I really want to get into it. Yeah. Maybe. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about.
You'd fit right in with us. Yeah. As Freddie Freeman is the batter.
Nice job by Daniel Castro again. Just putting the ball in play, taking advantage of that opening. Keeps doing good things.
And he delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Andrew, do you have a fondest memory about playing in this ballpark? Of course, next year, the final year for the Braves at Turner Field before we move to the suburbs.
Wow, so many memories here. I can, a lot. I can, it's so many. I think the first year when this park opened, it was in '97. This park played very, very big. I think I'm glad we can remember this park very, very big. The Braves, the most home run the Braves hit was like I think 21 or maybe something like I think it was Fred McGriff or something. It played very big, but we managed to win championship over and over here. So I think that's the greatest part of being here, the consistent championships that we won, and it's a great game. Playing in Atlanta, a new stadium, and just have fun. I think every time when I went out there, I think you look at the numbers, people don't understand it. Every time when I walk into the lineup and into the clubhouse, I wanted to play center field. One thing my dad told me a long time ago: if you don't go out there, somebody's going to go out there and play for you. So
it's great advice.
My main goal was go out there and play, even if you can't go. So that was the biggest part for me, coming to the stadium, Turner Field, and play on this field.
Bobby Cox is here today. Did you see him?
Yeah, I talked with him earlier.
Good.
We talked a little bit, and he asked me something about, hey Andy, we need to get you in the Hall of Fame. I said, Bobby, I'm not done playing yet.
Popped up right side. Milwaukee and
Nobody covering home.
And the ball's foul. It's a foul ball. And Uribe came scrambling down the line in a foot race with Nick Markakis. That would have been something.
Very interesting right there.
Yeah, good catch, Tommy. Even Murphy was trying to hot-foot it in from second base.
So Adonis Garcia, first and third, one out. He singled his first time up. Braves are trying to cut into a 2-0 lead. Freeman struck out. Now a little bloop into right. There's a base hit. Markakis had to avoid Nice coming down the third base line, but he scores standing up. Same play for Markakis twice in the inning. Once going to first, once coming home to score the first Atlanta run.
And virtually the same hit for Garcia that he had in the first inning.
Yeah, got an extra strike and took advantage of it.
Andrew, I know there's been a ton of turnover for the Atlanta Braves. Do you know any of these guys?
Well, a little bit by name, but not really. I think I only know Battencourt and Bourne, Simmons, Freeman, Markakis. That's almost the whole lineup, I think.
Yeah, did you? Well, that's a bunch of guys. Did you play against A.J. Brzezinski some in the American League?
Yes, I played with him in Chicago in 2011, I think.
And he's got to give you hope. He's a 38, 39-year-old guy, and he's having a great year.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him. I think him coming here and did what he did. I'm very proud. I like to see guys that hang around for a while and keep doing the job that they need to do.
1 ball, 1 strike for Hector Olivera, who walked his first time up. Braves loaded the bases in the first, couldn't break through against Nice. They've got 3 singles in their first run here in the bottom of the third.
When you were young and growing up in Curacao and your young teams, before you became a professional, did you have any interaction with the Cuban teams, youth teams at all?
No, we never played against Cuba because I think they were never in our pool.
Anderson's got it. Tagging at second is Castro. He's at third base, 2 outs.
But my dad did play against Cuban national teams in the Pan American games in the Caribbean.
Well, the Braves, needless to say, are very excited about the guy just hit, Hector Olivera.
And you're the guy that helped pave the way for guys like this young man to get to the big leagues in the first place, Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. You know, I think the job, the dedication he come out and you know, the job that he's been doing. My dad grew up with his dad. They're very, very good, you know, childhood friends. So I'm very, very proud of him.
And prouder still as he just tied the game with another hit against the Mets. 2-2. Death by 1,000 cuts for Jonathan Neese. 2 runs on 4 singles.
Andrelton's really swinging the bat well this year, I think, Andrew, in that he's cut down on his swing a little bit. He's had some injuries that have slowed him down some too, but he's hit more line drives, not as many lazy fly ball outs, and he's cut down on his strikeouts too.
And he got a unique swing. I got a chance to see him in the WBC in 2013. He got a very, very unique swing. He got a lot of things going for him. So I think he keep working, eliminate stuff. He's going to be good.
Bethancourt hits it high in the air to left any other day, and that's out of here. But no such luck. He hit it into the teeth of a very brisk wind. Andrew Jones, always great to see you, man.
Thank you.
Good luck in the comeback. Really rooting for you.
Thank you, guys.
Andrew Jones, our guest. Braves have tied it up. 2-2 your score. In the third inning, 7 men came to the plate, and all of a sudden we've got a tie game getting ready for inning number 4.
That was an odd play on Markakis, wasn't it? Because of what I saw Tim Welke do with his body. I never saw him make a call at first. I don't know if he called him out or not, because the foot off the bag was almost like an afterthought.
I think he called him out initially, and then they had their conversation. And I'm with you. I don't know if the conversation was more about the baseline, and then they talked about whether or not his foot was on the base. I don't know.
Well, if the conversation was about the baseline, you'd think it'd be the Braves out protesting the call, as the ball's hit by Conforto to second and flipped to first in time. But I believe it was the Mets who issued the challenge once the safe call was made at first, because Terry Collins wanted to make sure that Duda indeed did not have his foot on the first base bag.
Well, I think the Braves are going to protest until Welke and Timmons talked, and then they between themselves decided he was safe, and that's when the Mets said, wait a minute. And
then he's almost picked him off coming down the third base line.
Yeah, I didn't get you the first time. Let me try again.
Clothesline you.
So 1 out, new life for Weber, and he's got Neuenhuis in the box, and 1 man out. Neuenhuis a double in the second inning, tried to steal third and was thrown out. So you know a thing or two about this, Tommy. You give up a couple of runs, your team's gotten you back in the game. Get after it, right?
Oh yeah, it's that. Well, we always talk about that shutdown inning.
And another ground ball. Now he's starting to get the ball hitting the turf. That's a good sign. 2 out.
He has a short arm action, which I don't. Is that a plus or a minus on the curveball?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure more people tell you it's a minus across the board, but if it's natural for him, then I don't think you worry about it. It doesn't seem to affect his breaking ball. He's got a pretty good one.
Yes, he does.
Got good movement on his sinker, so it's just, it's natural for him, and it looks different to the hitter, I'm sure.
Low for Tejada. 1 ball, no strikes. That one belt tie over the corner. Tejada is only 25 years old. It seems like he's been around forever.
It's the truth.
First broke in with the Mets in 2010. And he's got a base hit with 2 outs. His first of the day.
The scouting report on Ryan Weber, if I'm the Mets and I'm looking at it, and then they saw the video from Philadelphia, but otherwise, if you're looking at those walks to innings pitched, 10 and 99 innings in the minor leagues this year, hits allowed, he's going to be around the plate. You're going to get something probably good to hit just about every at bat. It's just a matter of whether or not you make the best of it.
Yeah, if you can be patient enough to get him to elevate, versus going up there thinking you're going to get something to hit and then you swing at a pitcher's pitch. But
to short, Simmons has it, and Plawecki hits into a force play, and Weber has his shutdown inning. He'll take matters into his hands in the home 4th. He's due second in a 2-2 game.
that little guy, my little man Keenan, my wife Chris on his left, waving there, representing here for September Go Gold Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, doing their part.
And is he getting big?
Oh my gosh,
goodness.
I know. Big first grader, man.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem possible.
I know.
Michael Bourne leads off for the Braves. We've tied it up 2-2. As I've always said, first grade were the best 4 years of my life.
Yeah, right. I hope not.
caught a corner. It's an even count.
It's pretty sad, though. In first grade, he's got a better idea how to navigate the computer and the internet than I do.
Up the middle and through. There's a hit for Michael. Seven singles for the Braves today. And now Weber will try to help himself and lay down a bunt. Had a couple of chances to do this in Philadelphia and struck out twice.
And each time it was because of that, not getting the bat out in front. I asked him a couple of days ago about hitting. How many at bats did he really get during the season? And he said in the International League. Good bunt there.
Uribe's going to throw to second. Out and safe at first.
Oh, he was out the bag at second.
And I thought he beat the throw anyway.
Freddie Gonzalez is going to find out if the Braves want to challenge this call at second base. Remember, there is the neighborhood play in effect at the second base bag. But at first glance, looked like Michael might have beaten the throw from Uribe.
Neighborhood's one thing. Being in the county is another. Quick release by Uribe.
Freddie waiting for word from Horacio Ramirez and Rob Smith.
Well, I was wrong. He was a lot closer than I thought he was. Now, whether or not he beat it, couldn't tell from that angle. But
and apparently not enough video evidence for the Braves to make a challenge. So Uribe, with a big gamble, got the leading runner on Weber's bunt for the first out. Nick Markakis has a couple of infield hits. 164 hits for Nick this year. In case you wondered, his career high is 191. Set that early in his career while with the Orioles.
We saw this the other night with Murphy at first base, and the Mets have Duda playing the same way. I mean, he's off the bag with the pitcher, not expecting him to run, so it's a little different. But the other night, Murphy wasn't really holding the runner on. He was just standing shoulders square to home plate with a left-handed hitter.
I think with a left-handed hitter, though, be better off being behind him a little bit.
I would think so too.
In the air to center and caught. Nice running catch by Neuenhuis. And Markakis' perfect day comes to an end. 2 down. A strike from Nice, who wants another baseball. Don't know how the Mets will set up their postseason rotation. But with Harvey and DeGrom and Syndergaard and Bartolo Colon, you might think Nice might be on the outside looking in as far as starting games. Ground ball right side, but got to figure he's going to have a role in their bullpen, which has also been pitching very good ball. He shuts down Atlanta in the 4th, and he will lead off the 5th, tied up at 2.
Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Mets 2, Braves 2 as we head to the 5th inning. Ryan Weber in his second start for the Braves continues a long-standing trend for the Atlanta Ball Club this year.
55 starts by a rookie starting pitcher for the Braves. The Reds are way ahead of everybody right now because their whole rotation is rookies.
Yeah.
Once they traded Cueto, they pretty much went to an all-rookie staff, and they're racking them up.
So Jonathan Neese leads off. He bounced out to short his first time up. Braves have 2 runs on 7 hits. New York 2 runs on 4 hits. Michael Conforto's long homer in the second accounted for all the New York scoring.
He's only given up 4 hits, and 3 of them came in a row in the second inning. 2-run homer by Conforto, the difference maker.
How about that pitch?
That was nasty.
He was half swinging, half getting out of the way.
Yeah, he was intent on hitting that, and I think halfway in realized if I hit this, it's probably going to hit me in the shin. So
first strikeout of the day for Ryan Weber. And here's Granderson, who's hit the ball in the air twice. Curtis 0 for 2. And the change of beauty.
Oh, good pitch.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Granderson did not swing. The pitch hit him. So the second batter hit by Weber today. Got Lucas Duda back in the third as well.
And hit him in the same place, back foot. Shin in this case. Betancourt was patting the ground, wanting it down and in.
I like what they're trying to do. You know, you go takes a fastball away just off the plate, comes back with a backdoor breaking ball that he gave up on, gets the call strike, and now you try to back leg it. Obviously didn't execute it, but what I like about that is, you know, that's the thing. If you're going to miss, you got to miss in the right place. Now you don't want to hit him, obviously, but you know, I'd rather see that than hang one over the plate.
You certainly don't want to do that to Daniel Murphy, who can hit you hard with the 2-base hit. Now 223 doubles for Murphy. He passed Jose Reyes for second place for the New York Mets. Up next is Ed Kranepool. Good change, had him out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ed Kranepool had more doubles than anybody in Mets history.
225. Maybe I have the seating wrong. Hang on a minute. Kranepool's next on the list. Let me make sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kranepool's second. He passed Reyes for third. I beg your pardon. But Kranepool 225 doubles, more than Jose Reyes. As a New York Met,
I'm impressed. Who's first?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Didn't write it down. I'll have to.
Oh, way to go! all that homework.
I'm happy I knew Ed Kranepool.
Me too.
Bouncing ball towards Simmons. Let's see if Atlanta can turn 2. They can. Wow. Braves are turning some double plays in this series.
How quick was Castro on that one?
Murphy erased. So are the Mets. Heart of the order coming up for Atlanta. Twin killing. 2-2 game.
Fifth inning here, and we have a tie ball game at 2. And after a great Major League debut for Ryan Weber in Philly, we asked him what the main focus has been going into this start. He said, obviously getting a good feel for all of my pitches, particularly the release point of my curveball, but mainly he's been focusing on getting used to the Major League Baseball because it's different than the minor league balls. One thing that's really helped him out too, being familiar with Christian Bethancourt behind the plate. He says Christian's been catching him since the Gulf Coast League back in the day, and it's such a great thing to have a catcher that he really knows behind the plate.
Thank you, Christina.
Yeah, I didn't realize they went back that far.
Nor did I. As Freddie Freeman leads off, and he delivers low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that it takes a little getting used to that baseball up here.
Murphy, short right, makes the play. 1 down.
I think the first time you pick up that Major League Baseball coming from the minor leagues, you're kind of like, wait a minute, where are the seams? What happened to the seams?
Really?
Oh yeah, they're not anywhere close to what they are on the minor league balls.
Yeah, but a little rosin, a little pine tar takes care of all that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Zadonis takes downstairs. He's had a good day today, playing left field. With Hector Oliveira getting the start at third base, Garcia with a couple of hits and a run batted in.
Now that reminds me of a story that involves a guy that's sitting right down there scouting today. Remember, I think his name was Dennis Cook. Left-hander.
Yeah.
And he would use his fingernails to dig into those seams, and Pat Corrales gave him what for all the time and would call him on it.
Yeah.
Well, there's Pat.
Yeah, raising the seams. Yeah.
Longtime coach for the Braves, now a scout for the Dodgers. Good to see Pat at the ballpark.
Yeah, he's here checking out the Mets, who are the likely first-round opponent for the Dodgers should both those clubs win their division. And barring an epic collapse, they will.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit yesterday, and he came in and sat down and just kind of looked at me and said, these guys are pretty good. I said, yeah, they are.
Yeah, I was.
And which team are you talking about? The one that plays on odd days or even days?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, now that we're in the middle innings, as Garcia digs in. You've seen everybody in the big leagues now. You've seen all the National League teams, certainly. Are you a believer with the Mets? Do they have all the things that you look for a team that not can just get to the playoffs, but maybe win a championship?
They are now. They are now. They weren't before. But they've got not just some good hitters on their ball club now. They've got some veteran guys that know what it takes to win, like Uribe and like Kelly Johnson, and of course Cespedes too. But they've got some of that veteran leadership that will go a long way for this ball club, I think.
Yeah, no, and I think people will look at them and and I do too. The first thing you'll say is, well, with their rotation, they're young, they're inexperienced, blah, 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 blah. And I say, you know what? Heard the same thing in 1991. You know, we were young and inexperienced, and everybody thought we were going to fold and crack and what have you. But, you know, those guys don't buy into that. So.
Line drive by Oliveira to right, and Granderson's there, and he'll make the play. He gets the Braves in order in the 5th. We got a good ball game in Atlanta. Game 4 of the series, and we're still tied. Tuesday, September 16th, when the Braves take on the Blue Jays. Ticket packages begin as low as $24. They include your very own pair of Braves Zubaz pants, along with access to an exclusive 90s themed pregame party. Go to Braves.com/Zubaz to secure your tickets today.
Just break out your best mullet.
Mullet not included.
Very nice. Lucas Duda starts the 6th for New York. He's flied out and he's been hit by a pitch. And he skies one toward right. And Nick makes the play. One pitch and one out. Well, Weber pitching very effectively again today, but doing it differently than the way he performed against the Phillies.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously a few more fly balls, but I think sometimes too, and this used to happen to me every now and then, but sometimes too, when you've got that good sinker or you've got that good changeup, you get guys out in front even more, and they tend to just kind of flip the ball and flip it into the air, and you get a few more fly balls. It doesn't necessarily mean you're not down in the zone. It just means you're getting a little bit different swing sometimes on it, and even though he's getting some more fly balls today, they've been weak fly balls.
But you can see he knows how to pitch, and he has to pitch because he's not a man that's going to excite you with the radar gun readings.
No, he was, I guess Chris Medlin was the guy that he was compared to style-wise a little bit, kind of that, like the poor man's Chris Medlin, so to speak. But yeah, there's a lot of similarities. Move the ball around, change speeds, and not relying just on velocity.
Joe, you made a great point before the game. Here's Ryan Weber making his second big league start, and all of a sudden he's the old man on the starting staff.
Yeah, he's older than all the kids, quote unquote. Everybody else is 22 to 24. He's 25. There's Mike Boltonevich. Hope he's feeling better. When is he eligible to pitch again? If they decide that that's a good idea.
He went out with a viral issue.
Stat page is upside down today. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
He went on the DL September 2nd with what was called costochondritis. So September 17th to be the first time he could come back.
That's kind of odd, though, in September, with the rosters being what they are. They put him on the DL.
I didn't get that either. But speaking of roster expansion, I was adding up those two teams the Mets have over there in their dugout. It's a 40-man roster. They've got 38 guys.
Wow.
Playing right now, suited up. And then they've got one guy, Torres, who's got a calf issue, not really available to play.
That ball hit the base and popped right up to Freddie Freeman, who made the play. And Conforto is retired, and so is New York.
presented by Hyundai.
Nice ride on a nice day. Just like to take that one home from the ballpark. Roll the windows down, roll the sunroof back. Listen to the highlights of the game.
Perfect day for that. Those are nice, very nice cars.
So Andrelton Simmons, Christian Bethancourt, and Michael Bourne face Jonathan Neese. Mr. Neese is not pitching like he had been coming into this start against the Braves. Line drive to left. Andrelton continues to murder the Mets. 2 more hits.
Yeah, I don't know what their pitching plan is against him, but you might want to have the catcher tell him what's coming. Just try something different.
How level that swing was, too. Kept his head on the ball. Like I said to Andrew earlier, Andrelton's understanding better this year what his capabilities are. I know he hit, 17 home runs 1 year, 2 years ago. But I think that hurt him more than helped him.
Yeah, 17 homers in 2013. 7 last year, 3 this year.
Yeah, I think somewhere in the 7 to 10 range is perfectly normal for him in the way he swings, but he was sacrificing a lot of base hits last year trying to equal that 17 home run mark.
Yeah, what would you rather have? Andrelton hit 15 homers and bat 245, or approach 270 with 5 or 6 homers?
I'll take the latter because I think he could then be more useful in the top of the order batting second.
Yeah, that'd be a great place for him to hit. Behind Markakis, in front of Freddie Freeman. He's batting 6th today, and he represents the go-ahead run. Outside to Christian, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We were talking a minute ago about the Mets and their capabilities, and you were talking about the young pitching staff, Tom, and how you guys didn't know you weren't supposed to pitch well under the gun. I think that's a lot of what the Cubs lineup, their position players, are doing right now. And that is, they're not supposed to be playing this well in September in a pennant race, but they don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that. You know, they're saying the same thing we did, I'm sure. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, we believe in ourselves. We're playing well. Why not?
Would you guys agree with the towns in which the Cubs and Mets play that the playoff atmosphere isn't going to really affect them all that much? The media craziness that is New York, Tommy, you know that full well, and the hyper attention that Cubs Nation puts on its team year after year at Wrigley Field.
No, they're definitely playing under a lot more scrutiny on a local basis, day in and day out, than most teams do. So yeah, there's a lot of that they're already having to deal with, and you know, that certainly will go a long way for them to be battle tested.
Bethancourt spoiled a good pitch and stays alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You could see the body language on Neese after that pitch. Like, come on, not supposed to even foul that off.
Bouncing ball, Uribe, tricky hop, and it got through the legs. Simmons is going to chug to third, and he's going to make it safely, and Bethancourt all the way around to second base. Bad hop, great break for Atlanta.
Must have hit the edge of the grass, folks, and just stayed down, and it was hit hard enough right there on that hop. He couldn't get down quick enough. E5.
So golden chance for the Braves. Second and third with nobody out. Strike one for Michael. High pop. Wind might push that one back toward Uribe. He's leaning, but it's on top of the Mets dugout foul. 0-2.
Strikeout would be huge for Nice right here with the infield back. Michael just wants to get something he can put in play on the ground, pull the ball to the right side, get that go-ahead run in.
A ground ball to the right side at the minimum would be ideal.
Yeah.
Get a run in, move the other one over.
Instead of fly ball to left. Conforto comes charging in. Wind pushed it. He double clutched. His throw to the plate is way high. And it's a sacrifice fly. Simmons scores to break the tie. Bethancourt's at third with one out.
Good hustle by Christian, too. Reading Andrelton and watching the throw. When he saw that throw get airmailed, Christian was off to third. Good base running.
So now the infield comes in. Atlanta's in front. Weber is 0 for 2. Squeeze, and it's bunted foul.
He's got to say, watch for it first pitch.
That bat out front.
Yep.
I don't think I finished that story earlier about hitting in AAA, and he said there were only a couple of other National League teams that they played against while he was up, and that's when the pitchers hit. All the other games against American League AAA teams, the DH is in play.
Yeah, I don't think they get near as many at bats now in AAA anyway as they did when I was down there.
0-2. Weber gave up too early and shut the Mets down since. And now the offense has given him a 1-run lead.
Infield's in here, so you're trying to cut the runoff. You've got a rookie at the plate. You don't really know if he can swing the bat that well or not. The outfield is shading him a little bit to right field, but I'd almost have Granderson and Neuenhuis in so shallow softball depth. I wouldn't even I'd take the risk of him hitting one over my head rather than let him dump one in behind a drawn-in infield.
I always like that with the opposite outfielder anyway. I wanted him to take away that blooper. If they hit the ball over his head, it was usually because I made a mistake.
Foul away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I mean, it's obvious you're trying to cut the runoff anyway, so why not go for it in that sense? At worst, you're going to give up a double.
Granderson shortened up a step or two in right now, and Weber swings and misses, and the throw to first will retire him. There's the second out of the inning. So the Braves try to squeeze on the first pitch. Ryan couldn't get the bunt down. He's the second out, and Nick Markakis is the batter with a 2-hit day. A nice run to pick up at third base. Let's see if Nick can bring home Bethancourt. Foul away. A single, an error, a sac fly, and a strikeout. Braves have 8 runs, all of them 8 hits, I beg your pardon, all of them singles. And a shot to second. That hops up on Murphy, but he stayed with it, and the stretch at first will retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left, and a 1-run Braves lead. Thank our friends at Delta Airlines for doing great work flying the Braves to and fro all across the National and American Leagues this year. 1 more trip left. We'll face the Mets in New York. Then we head down to Miami to face the Marlins before finishing up the final week of regular season play here at home.
The fans, don't miss out on a free post-game concert by one of the hottest new stars in country music, Sam Hunt, presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines, Thursday, October the 1st, when the Braves take on the Nationals. Get your tickets now. Visit Braves.com/Sam Hunt.
Story today, Ryan Weber, his 2nd big league start, his first in Atlanta. And he's held the Mets to 2 runs on only 4 hits. Got a 1-2-3 6th. He'd love the same here in the 7th. He just missed a Kirk Neuenhuis, ball 2.
Marksberry begins to loosen up for Atlanta. Stouffer for New York. And Dario Alvarez as well for New York.
4-pitch walk. Second base on balls.
And it's only the 2nd leadoff man to reach. The other one did score in the 2nd.
Leadoff man reached 6 times in 9 innings for the Mets last night and scored 4 runs. So trouble with Tejada up there, and he almost got hit. Ball 1.
Still pitching in, though. Liking it.
Yeah, I like that. Runner goes. Pitch bounce to the left side. Nice play. Oliveira to his left, and a strong throw to get his man. Neuenhuis at second after a fine play by Oliveira, who cut it off. 1 out.
That was going to be a real difficult play for Andrelton if he hadn't cut it off. Hit and run play on. Nice play by Hector.
So you got the 8th place hitter Plawecki, and then the pitcher spot is due, but Nice isn't going to hit. Kelly Johnson's grabbed a bat, and he's on deck. One ball, no strikes.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's part of the cat and mouse game that Freddie talked about that's so difficult with the Mets and all these guys they have now. You go to the lefty with Kelly Johnson, and then, oh, by the way, you got David Wright and a few others on the bench. So that was going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Two balls, no strikes.
I'm not going to give you enough information for you to be able to come up with this guy, I don't think. But Weber reminds me a lot of a guy that pitched for the Twins, and then I think maybe later for the Yankees, that had kind of a similar arm action. Excellent control. He'd give up a couple of runs, but never really got beat up real bad. And I can't think of his name.
What era? When?
90s.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
It's not Scott Erickson.
No.
He threw a lot harder.
No, it's real controlled, simple windup. Didn't throw hard.
The other guy here reminds me a little bit of delivery-wise is Greg McMichael.
Liner into center. That's going to get down for a hit. And the runner at third is going to be stopped. So now it's set up for New York, first and third with one down.
Kevin Tapani.
That's it. Way to go. That's it. Cubs and Twins. Way to go.
So it's first and third for New York, and Freddie Gonzalez is going to go to his bullpen. And Ryan Weber, excellent work. Gave up too early, but has held the Mets at bay to this point. The runners aboard belong to him. We'll tell you who the new Braves pitcher is after a quick break.
The Georgia Lottery, Sherwin-Williams, and your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places.
Brisk day in Atlanta, bright sunny skies, and a nice job by Ryan Weber. And I need some help from the Atlanta bullpen. First man out is Matt Marksberry, and he won't be facing Kelly Johnson with men at the corners.
No, he's going to get Kadire. But the thing about Marksberry is this is his 3rd straight day. That hasn't happened to this point in the big leagues. He worked last night in the 9th inning and got the last 2 outs. Got Murphy and David Wright to end the Mets 9th inning where they had those 2 runs to win the ball game. Got more responsibility, and he's done a good job.
Well, the Mets have done big time work in this latter 3rd innings of ball games, and they're threatening to tie it up here in the 7th. First pitch to Kadire, missed up and away. Kadire's had a bad wrist. This is game 103 for the longtime big league veteran Michael Kadire. He went around.
That's hard on the wrist.
That one got away from Bethancourt. Doesn't matter. It's a hit batsman. Ball is dead. Bases loaded now for New York. That's the 3rd Met that's been hit on that down and in pitch in today's game.
He was in no hurry to get out of the way.
And now it's a lefty sequence for Marksberry. At one of 4 pitchers to work the 9th inning last night. Got those last 2 outs with the bases loaded. Well, he's got the bases loaded with 1 out in the 7th today. And Bethancourt makes his 3rd trip to the mound in the ball game today.
No mistakes here. Not sure on the signs. Get together. Good stop.
Leadoff walks late usually lead to big problems. That's what the Braves have suffered in the 7th to this point. But they still lead. Neuenhuis, Plawecki, and Kadire the runners. And a ground ball through, base hit. Neuenhuis scores. Plawecki getting the green light. The throw from Markakis to the plate is late. New York takes the lead, and they've got 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. The Mets have scored a lot of late runs, and the Braves are giving them up at a furious pace in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the relief woes for Atlanta are Coors Light cold hard facts.
Last 6 games, the starters' ERA has been very, very good. Relievers, a different story. Lead-off walk got this going, though.
Yeah, it seems to have really hurt the Braves in this series. No matter, I mean, it's really bad, obviously, in the late innings, but it seems like any inning the Mets have gotten a leadoff walk has led to runs.
So this Mets team right now, doesn't matter who comes to the plate. When they've got guys on base, they're getting them in.
14 comeback wins for the Mets since August 1st. 14. Murphy skies one toward left. That's going to reach the seats. And look, you can say, okay, well, they're feasting against the Braves bullpen, a very young, inexperienced group. Well, go back a series before. Look what they did to the Washington Nationals, the team that was fighting toe-to-toe with the Mets for the top spot in the division.
Yeah, all 3 of those.
Wore them out.
All 3 were comeback wins.
One ball, 2 strikes. The stopped by Bethancourt. One of those comeback wins cost Drew Storen the rest of the season. After Wednesday's game, in frustration, he slammed his locker, broke his pitching thumb. Done for the year.
Hadn't heard that.
I hadn't either, but
how many times did it take him?
I haven't seen a wall or a water cooler that's lost that fight yet.
Popped up. Who wants this? Everybody's looking at everybody else, and Oliveira takes over and makes the play. Murphy pops out, 2 down in the inning. And here's Lucas Duda. Murphy's 0 for 4. Strike one. 4-3 Mets in the top of the 7th. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 here in the 7th inning.
The Braves bullpen, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. Willing to take it. But just prior to Jason Grilli getting hurt, things were in a good, everybody would fit into a nice spot in the bullpen. Grilli, Johnson, Avilan, and so on. So when Jason got hurt, obviously that's a big hole at the back end. Everybody moved back a ways. I mean, Johnson moved to the closer role, Avilan more in a setup role in the 8th inning. They got traded. Braves got some prospects for those guys, certainly, in a big deal with the Dodgers, and got Oliveira. But it's been since that time, with the exception of Vizcaino at the end of the bullpen, where those slots, those holes, if you will, have just been hard to figure out where everybody's supposed to fit.
Well, and it's not like, okay, we lost our back end guy. Now we've got experienced guys in our bullpen, and we're asking everybody to back up an inning, which is not an easy thing to do in and of itself. You're not only asking guys to do stuff, you're asking inexperienced guys to do stuff. And that, I mean, that's just, you know, that's where you get the inconsistencies. You just don't know what you're going to get on a given day.
Pop fly foul and out of play. Duda might have cracked his bat. He did.
And I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. Heck, it's frustrating for us, right? So you know it's frustrating for the guys in the stands. But I've said it, and I keep saying it. The hardest thing to do at this level is to find that consistency. It's what makes guys go from being here to not being here, quite honestly, and what makes guys go on to have good careers is finding that consistency day in and day out. And when you're a young player, that's the biggest thing you struggle with, is finding that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2nd and 3rd for the Mets, 2 outs. That's why I thought the injury to Grilli was such a franchise-changing situation for Atlanta. Veteran presence in the bullpen. You miss him every day, counseling these young guys. What better experience is there than speaking to experience? And Grilli's done everything he can in the game. Starter, reliever, closer.
No, and I think that certainly there, and I think the same in the rotation. The Braves lack that.
Did Bethancourt hang on? He did. And that will retire the side. New York strikes for 2 runs in the 7th. We stretch, now down a run. Fox returns with the Subway Series as the wild card leading Yankees take on the East leading Mets. Then the AL Central leading Royals square off against the Tigers in a game you can only see on FS1. Coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern on Fox, 7 Eastern on FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 4-3, New York has the lead. Braves are up for the home 7th inning. Curtis Granderson, today's AT&T U-verse trivia subject. He's one of 2 active players with 250 or more homers and 140 or more stolen bases. Name the other man.
Oh, mercy.
I have no idea.
250 homers. I'll get back to you.
What, we're going to still think about it for a while?
Yeah.
I forgot all about it. Yeah.
I had my head in the game.
I'll say Jose Bautista, since the Toronto Blue Jays are coming to town.
I mean, Phillips is a good call.
I'm going to go Robinson Cano.
That's a good answer.
That is a good answer. I'll go with Phillips.
Wow. Ryan Braun.
We have had this one before. I'm almost certain.
Yeah. Hate that when that
we
happens.
keep missing it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Tells you all you need to know about our IQ up here. So the Mets go to the bullpen. Jonathan Neese, now the beneficiary of a 1-run lead.
Stauffer on now, making his first appearance for the Mets.
Padres and Twins were his previous big league destinations. And he's got the 2-3-4 hitters coming up for the Braves. 4-3 New York. And a shot over Murphy's glove and into right field. Castro's aboard for a 3rd time. His 2nd hit.
You go, Daniel. Good pitch, too. Spoiled it.
Freddie Freeman's 0 for 3 today. And Murphy olayed that one. And Atlanta's going to have him at 1st and 3rd with nobody out.
Daniel Murphy wears the Braves out. A lot of doubles. We talked about that last night. But this was a horrible play. That ball was not hit that hard. He may have been fooled thinking that it was hit hard. It wasn't. He had time to throw something in front of it. Break for Atlanta.
And a hit for Freddie, extending his hitting streak to 5 games. And now Garcia bats with a 2 for 3 day working. 4-3 New York. And that missed low. 1 ball, no strikes. Braves have 10 hits today, all singles. Look at how that bat shattered.
Just took a chunk right out of the end of it. Got to be a cupped in on that bat.
Hit it right in the cup.
Yeah.
Two balls and a strike. Back to the mound. Stauffer never looked home, and the Mets turn a double play. Castro scores. Garcia doubled up, and it's now 4-4. No RBI, the penalty for the double play.
Well, that'll certainly curtail any chance at a big inning, but I think the Braves are happy to tie it up.
Yeah.
So that will take Weber off the hook, and no decision for Nice as well.
So Oliveira bats. He's 0 for 2. He's hit the ball to right field twice.
Got him.
Yep. Hey, maybe the first time that elbow guard was put in play. See where it got him.
Just skipped off the end of that elbow guard.
And the last thing the Mets want to do is see Andrelton Simmons swing the bat with men on base. And he's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
Great series. It's average up to 265.
That's a good week, let alone a good weekend.
No balls and a strike. Braves have an off day tomorrow. Toronto's here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. The Mets head home to take on Miami tomorrow. The flip to second is in plenty of time. Hard slide by Oliveira. Took out the ankle of Daniel Murphy. But Atlanta ties the game in the 7th. 4-4 your score.
Night at Turner Field. Eagles night on Thursday, October the 1st. Join your fellow Georgia Southern Eagles for a fun evening at the ballpark, including a pregame meet and greet with Georgia Southern greats and an Atlanta Braves Georgia Southern hat. Visit braves.com/southern for more information.
4-4 in game 4. 8th inning coming up. New pitcher for the Braves. First it was Ryan Weber, then Matt Marksberry. Now it's Sugar Ray Marimon. He's appearing in his 13th game this year.
Sugar Ray hadn't been out there in a few days. In fact, he hasn't pitched in this series at all. He last pitched on the 6th of September, so a week ago. That was at Washington. 2 innings, a run, a walk, and struck out 3.
He'll have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for New York: Uribe, Conforto, and Neuenhuis. Braves did a nice job battling back today. Down 2-0 in the third, tied it up there. Led 3-2. New York scored 2 in the top of the 7th. The Braves just tied it up. Let's see if Sugar Ray can have a shutdown frame and turn the keys back over to the bats. Uribe's 1 for 3, scored the first run for the Mets. Came home on Conforto's long 2-run homer. He tried to untie it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No leadoff walks.
That has not been a good plan.
That's a pop fly over by the Mets booth.
I was just going to say, by the radio booth, another opportunity for Don to duck out of the way.
Yep.
Hide under the counter. Really wasn't room under there. Jim was already under there.
Well, when Don got there, I wonder if Jim said, "Hello, darling."
Probably.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Sugar Ray got Uribe out in front. No, I like this guy on the mound.
Me too.
You know, he see some. You see some things you can work with here, Tommy and Joe, don't you?
Got a little bit of attitude, a little swagger about him when he goes out there, which you like, and you know, like a lot of guys coming out of there, just that we talked about, that consistency factor.
He's got a good arm.
Julio Teheran's cousin, Sugar Ray Marimo, and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Plus, if you got the name Sugar Ray, that's just cool all by itself.
Going to have a little swagger.
That's not his nickname, that's his given name. Marimone's dad, a huge boxing fan, loved watching Sugar Ray Leonard and named his son after the great professional pugilist. That missed low, 2 balls and a strike. Michael Conforto's had himself a very nice day. And he's aboard with a 1-out walk. And now Neuenhuis is coming up. We are seeing some good looking young hitters come up through the big leagues after all the outstanding young pitching has flooded the ranks of professional players at this level. As Eric Young Jr. is going to pinch run. All about Conforto in this series. All the youngsters the Cubs have put together. That's good for the game too. Maybe the pitching offense thing will balance itself out, which has been in favor of the young pitchers the last few years.
Their secret weapon, Eric Young Jr., back out there to pinch run again. He's been busy late in these ball games.
Well, if he's running, this will be a fun matchup with Christian Bethancourt behind the plate. He's already thrown out one runner trying to steal. It was Nieuwenhuis trying to take third in the second.
He has already pinch run 3 times in this series, and he has scored 3 runs.
I was going to say, every time he's pinch run, he scored, right? So let's break that streak.
Close play. Like his cousin, Marimon looks to have a pretty good pickoff move. Down and in strike. 0-1. Nieuwenhuis is backing away from that pitch and finds himself in a 2-strike hole.
Yeah, and it was a changeup. Kind of stood him up with a fastball on the first pitch and then a changeup in. Not a good pitch to run on here. Got a short lead there. 0-2 count. Braves can pitch out. Short lead.
He's going. Pitch down and in. Bethancourt's throw is on the money. And out. One of the best throws Christian's made all year behind the plate.
Yeah, and on one of the toughest pitches to throw on. They didn't pitch out. He was still going 0-2. Great job by Andrelton, too, on the short hop. Get that tag down. Boy, and he just barely held on to the baseball.
So Marimon back to the windup. 1-2 count for Nieuwenhuis. And he popped it up. Oliveira foul ground. Makes the play. More good Atlanta defense. Bethancourt throws out his second would-be base stealer in the game. And the lower third up for Atlanta, still tied in the 8th. to cure childhood cancer. Nearly 16,000 children in the U.S. are diagnosed with cancer every year. More than 40,000 kids undergo cancer treatment every year. Big group of parents and kids here, including Tom's lovely wife, Chris. That kid stole our hearts. Got a selfie, not an autograph, with Freddie Freeman before the game began today. Talk about courageous. Those kids certainly are.
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable what they go through.
So we're glad they're here, and they've enjoyed a good ball game today. 4-4 between the Braves and Mets. And Christian Bethancourt thought about a bunt with Uribe back at third base, and he's down a quick strike. Christian's had a nice day today behind the plate. See if he can get something going at the plate. High hopper. Jump throw to first. Bethancourt runs very well. Infield hit. Third hit allowed by Stauffer. There's a start for the Braves.
Came out of the box fast, too. You could smell that hit. Nice thought by Tejada, but no chance. Mets are going to make a change.
So Stauffer gave up 3 hits, but a little tough luck. His defense let him down in the 7th. And we'll tell you about the new Mets pitcher when we come back. That'll be a lot of fun. Friday, September 18th, the Phillies will be in town. Your ticket package includes a zombie survival kit, access to makeup artists, and a pregame zombie walk around the field. Go to Braves.com for more information.
Dario Alvarez, we saw him in the first game of this series, and 4 up and 4 down quickly when he came in.
A bunt. And it's a good one. Runner to second on the sacrifice. Bethancourt in scoring position. And now Nick Swisher will come on and pinch hit.
Alvarez, the guy we told you about, had pitched in Japan, Panama, some other another country too. I have to look it up. There was like 3 countries over a 2-year period where he wasn't on the MLB radar. Swisher 2 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
Venezuela, Panama, and Japan. is where Alvarez pitched. Mets in the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. Alvarez, one of 2 players, as you see Juan Lagares in the game. He's going to hit 9th for New York. One of 2 players last year to go from single A ball to the big leagues in 1 year. Dilson Herrera did that with Alvarez last season. He's 26. Was signed by the Phillies as an undrafted free agent. The Mets got him as a minor league free agent at the start of last year. Oh, that sounded solid.
I hope it wasn't a knee. Man, that right on the outside of the front foot, missed all that shin guard. Saw Cameron Maven standing there next to Freddie Gonzalez. He may not be able to see real well to hit or feel, but he can find the bases.
Cameron's hoping to play Tuesday. He's had some eye infections, a corneal abrasion. So it's been a while for Cameron, who yesterday said he was just itching to get back in the lineup. Well, here's his chance as he stands at first base with 1 out. Now it's a lefty-lefty matchup for Nick Markakis. 2 more hits for Nick, both singles. He's also scored a run. Braves have out hit New York 11-6.
That was the 5th hit batter in this game.
Duda, Kadire, and Granderson were hit by the Braves today. As this one's hit high in the air toward left, but it's going to be playable. Neuenhuis makes the grab. He shifted from center to left. And 2 are out. Milwaukee out for a chat. One thing you like about Castro in this spot, lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Chances are he's going to put the ball in play. Got a fast man in Bethancourt standing at second base, and he could unlock the tie. 4-4 game. Let's try to get Murphy's attention, position him a little closer to Duda to plug up that hole on the right side. That's how they pitch him, and it missed. 1 ball, no strikes.
Smart move on their part. Granderson's come in a couple of steps from right field too. We know how quick Daniel is inside too if they try to come in on him. See, that was just a setup swing. Followed through and looked out toward right field like that's where I'm trying to go. Now they're going to come in on him and he's going to turn on one into left field.
He did, right down the third baseline. Bethancourt scores. Maven on his way to third. Castro with a big hit puts the Braves in front.
The more you see him, the more you like him. This guy can play. And Uribe wasn't that far off the line. He almost picked off the umpire.
Now, we talked about it the other night when he started. Every time he plays, he seems to do something to catch your eye, and today's been no different.
A 3-hit day for Daniel Castro, and he's put the Braves in front. And Freddie Freeman is the hitter. He's 1 for 4. Insurance run 90 feet away would be nice to get, and that's off the plate. Swing and miss. I'm guessing Vizcaíno would be unavailable today.
How about old Peter Moylan?
Vizcaíno's worked back-to-back days. He's been hit pretty hard, so it's like Moylan's going to try to close it out.
They have 3 right-handed hitters due up in the 9th inning, but they've got about 14 or 15 guys they can call on the bench.
Freddie didn't mean to do that. Cost him a strike. 2-2. High fly to left. Neuenhuis battling the wind. He can't get there.
That was amazing. That ball almost made a U-turn, almost started coming back to home plate. He's a good outfielder too. He didn't lose it in the sun. It's just that it was hit so high, it got above that roof line and changed directions.
I think for a minute there he thought he was camped under it, and then he had a all-out sprint into foul territory and couldn't get there.
So free swing for Freddie Freeman. That pitch missed inside. It's a full count. Freeman took it off the plate. And Atlanta has loaded the bases, and Terry Collins will go get Alvarez. So Daniel Castro's double down the third base line puts Atlanta in front 5-4. The Mets go ever deeper into their bullpen. Toyota key play of the game.
Just happened. Great at bat by Daniel Castro. Ripped one down the third base line to put the Braves on top. Second hit of the day. He scored twice and now he's driven one in.
And now they'll greet Bobby Parnell, who's had a rough time of it for the Mets of late.
Yeah, his return from surgery, from Tommy John surgery, hasn't been so good in terms of results. In fact, looking at his last 3 outings, August 14th, no outs recorded, 3 hits, 2 runs. August 16th, 2/3 of an inning, 4 runs, 2 earned. And then he hasn't pitched since September 1st against Philadelphia. Did not record an out, walked 2 batters, gave up 3 runs, 2 were earned. He has had a hard time of it. I was told that he had started trying to throw a 2-seamer because he didn't trust his stuff and was urged to get back to airing it out. I mean, he's a guy that was in the upper 90s when before his injury.
And that missed inside as Adonis Garcia and Hector Olivera stood in the on-deck circle watching Parnell warm up. Braves hitting coach Kevin Seitzer screamed out at the circle and said, "Hook," as if to tell the 2 young players what Parnell features. Little pop into shallow right. Granderson's coming on. Can't make the play. He overslid. Curtis Granderson tried to make a sliding catch, and the ball ended up over his head. And 2 runs have scored.
Yeah, I think once he committed to his slide, he lost it. Lost it in the sun.
I agree, Tommy. The lower he got, the worse angle he had with the sun. It's like he slid right into the sun in a way.
So a 3-hit game for Garcia and a 3 RBI day. Now Olivera bats and it was 0 for 2. One more point about Kevin Seitzer. Technology really can help a major league coach these days. Seitzer doesn't speak Spanish. Garcia and Olivera very little English. All of those men have translator apps on their cell phones. So when they go to the cage, Seitzer will speak into the cell phone. It'll translate his comments into Spanish. Olivera can listen to what the telephone translator says, and he can respond on his phone, and it's translated from Spanish to English.
How about that? Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
I'm going to get one of those for my dog.
No balls, 2 strikes.
She talks all the time.
And a swing and a miss. And there was the hook that Kevin Seitzer was talking about. Bad break for Parnell. Inning should have ended with a 1-run lead. Instead, Atlanta has broken it open 7-4 with 3 outs to get. bobblehead or any of the other great promotional items the Braves offered in 2015. Here's another chance to pick one of them up. It's Braves Country Grab Bag Night, October 2nd against the Cardinals. With your game ticket, you'll get to choose one of over 25 Braves promo items that you can take home as a game day souvenir. Go to Braves.com for more information and to purchase your tickets. Big day today for Daniel Castro. 3 hits, including the go-ahead run that came across in the Atlanta 8th. And now it's Peter Moylan who will try to close this game out. Fellas, it's been a while since Peter Moylan's gotten the 27th out in the game.
Yeah, if he's the guy that's left in there for the whole inning, and there's activity in the Braves bullpen naturally, but if he gets the save, it would be his first since September 9th of 2012 against the Mets. That would be awesome. I did talk to him before the game and ask him about calling down and getting himself up in the minor leagues as the pitching coach. He goes, yeah, I thought about that several times, just to step out of the dugout and wave down. But he also talked about how he also had practiced in his head having a conversation with himself on the mound as the pitching coach.
And you know he has, too. Yes. You know he thought about it.
He is a great guy. And what a story Peter Moylan's big league career has been. And he tries to finish off New York and prevent the Mets from sweeping a 4-game series here in Atlanta. They've never done it.
Just get this first guy.
There's a strike. One and one the count. Braves 7 runs on 13 hits today. New York 4 runs on 6 hits.
One of the concerns before Peter was called up was whether or not he could work on consecutive days. This is his 3rd straight day in this series, but in the first 2 he only faced 1 batter each time.
Ripped foul. Ooh, that's skipped off the top of that auxiliary scoreboard and bounced deeper into the stands. Braves trying to snap the National 6-game winning streak. They're also trying to snap an 11-game home losing streak. Braves have not shaken hands at Turner Field since August 24th.
Yes, he did.
There's the first out.
Good breaking ball.
Here's Kevin Plawecki. Atlanta has 3 more games left with New York. September 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Good fastball. 92 from Peter. And another strike. Toronto Blue Jays are in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. Boy, it'd be nice to go into the off day with a win, clear the head, and get set for a big challenge against the surging Toronto club. Did he go? He did. 2 outs. 1 more to get. Then we've got the Phillies coming to town. Moylan looks sharp.
Good pitch. So he has 2 nasty sliders to finish the hitters off.
And Juan Lagares is the hitter. Tom, I know you've got a big event coming up on Saturday as well, part of the festivities that we enjoyed today.
Yeah, my wife's 11th annual Quiet Heroes Luncheon, honoring moms of kids who have had cancer. It'll be Saturday the 19th at the Intercontinental Hotel in Buckhead. It'll be about 240 moms there that they'll be honoring, and if people want to go or check out the auction, go to quietheroes.org. A lot of cool stuff on the auction this year that'll all go to help raise money for research.
Yeah, I hope you can support that great cause, and then afterward come out to the ball game.
Good ball game Saturday night afterwards, so you'll already be in the area.
One and one for Lagares. Popped up. Wind will push that deep into the seats. Foul. And now the Braves are a strike away from ending that long home skid.
Braves did a good job, just as they did last night, of tying the game up late. Last night they couldn't close the deal. Today they fell behind again and still came back from that and have a chance to put a good win on the board.
How about the crowd today? NFL Sunday, but 23,000 plus showed up today. They're on their feet cheering, yelling for Peter Moylan. Great effort by the ball club today.
No, it's good to see. You know, the guys they're fighting, they're battling. Nice to see the fans here and supporting them the way they have, and they've been into the games all weekend.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Lagares, and fouled away.
Only got the first 2 with sliders. The last 2 pitches have been fastballs. About time to throw him that bow lock and slider and put an end to it.
Call it a day.
The 1-2 pitch for Lagares. Fly ball headed toward the gap in right center. Almost caught. Maben made a great diving try, and it just leaked out of the end of his glove. That would have been a spectacular end of the game. Instead, Lagares keeps it alive for New York. He's got a double with 2 outs. And so Moylan will not get a chance to finish the game with a 3-run lead. Freddy Gonzalez is on his way out to get him. And another pitching change coming up here at Turner Field. Great effort. It just didn't stick. And we're not done in Atlanta yet. set. The Toronto Blue Jays are coming to town, but not as healthy as many had expected them to be, and we'll explain after we tell you who our Chevron starters are.
Well, that's a good matchup, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Julio and 14-game winner Mark Burley. Burley got roughed up his last time out, so we'll see how that pans out. But he's always tough, and you get in the box, you better be ready because that guy works fast.
Yeah, I want to see. That'd be interesting to watch Julio. He's been pitching better lately, and that'd be a good test for him.
Burley had to take a cortisone shot in his shoulder after that last start Joe mentioned, and the Jays might be without Troy Tulowitzki. He's got a cracked shoulder blade in that collision at Yankee Stadium yesterday. So Ryan Kelly is the next Atlanta pitcher, the 5th of the day for Freddie Gonzalez, and he's got to get Curtis Granderson to get this one into the books under the win column. Granderson has a hit and 2 RBIs today. Those came in the 7th. Braves needed 4 pitchers to get 3 outs in the 9th yesterday. Kelly, the 2nd of the inning today. And he missed low, ball 1.
Kelly came in the 7th inning last night, got 3 fly ball outs to Michael Bourne in center. Take a fly ball to Michael Bourne in left right now.
Braves and Mets fans try to out-chant each other. 2 balls, no strikes, and 3-0. Don't want to walk him. That would bring Murphy up, and he'd be the tying run.
No, this is where from the get-go you should be thinking, here, I'm throwing it down the middle, see how far you can hit it. Hit a home run, so what? We got a 1-run lead still. Do that again.
Strike.
Sorry. Do that again. Right down Broadway. See how far you can hit it.
He walked him. And now the Mets are in position. They have 14 comeback wins since August 1st. Murphy's hit a home run or 2 this year. In fact, he's hit 10 of them. But it keeps the game alive, and Murphy represents the tying run. And now Roger McDowell is out for a chat.
And I don't know whose fault that is. But if that's the tying run on second base, I'm okay with a 3-1 changeup right there. With a 3-run lead and 2 outs.
What are you trying to prove?
I don't know. Well, it's almost like you're afraid of giving up a home run that, so there's an earned run against you. I'm not saying that's, that's his, I'm not saying that's what he's thinking, but it's almost like that's what he's thinking. I mean, to me, the mentality should be, like I said, so what if I give up a home run right here? It's for whatever reason, it just seems to work out that way. It's better than walking a guy in this situation. Well, now you bring the tying run.
I was saying, now you don't have that luxury. You say, here it is, hit it.
Yeah.
Now you've really got to pitch, and if you don't get Murphy, then you've got another lefty in Lucas Duda waiting on deck with 2 outs.
6th walk for Granderson in this series.
Two on, 2 out. 9th inning drama between the Braves and Mets. Strike 1. Fly ball hammered toward the gap in right center field. Will the park hold it? It won't. Unbelievable.
This is not a team you mess with and give opportunities to. Not the way they're going. because it doesn't matter who comes to the plate.
Peter Moylan got the first 2 outs very quickly. Lagares with a 2-strike double off the glove of Maben, who made a heroic diving try. Moylan relieved by Kelly, who walked Granderson, and then Murphy hits a game-tying 3-run homer to make it 7-7. And now be careful of Duda.
Well, it's happened all series long. The walks have just killed the Braves pitchers.
No balls, 2 strikes. Popped up. Wynn's going to play with this. Here comes Maben. Wynn pushing it back toward the infield, and he makes the grab. The Braves bullpen gives it up in the 9th. A 3-run homer by Daniel Murphy with 2 outs sends us to the bottom of the 9th. Now they got to get back at it in the bottom of the 9th inning. 7-7 game. The Blue Jays are in town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. 6:30 Braves live all 3 days. All 3 games coming up from Turner Field. Hope you'll join us.
You're right, Chip. You got to get back after it. And what's really hard for these guys with bats and helmets is the regrouping mentally, thinking, okay, 2 out, nobody on, we're up 7-4. You know, we're in good shape. And it's never good enough shape. Not this year.
No. Entering yesterday's play, Braves have been outscored in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings by 41 runs since July 31st. That was entering game 2 of the series, I beg your pardon, against the Mets.
Yeah, and yesterday was a wash.
Right.
Braves got 3, they got 3.
And today's a wash. It's 5-5 in late inning runs. So Parnell back to work. He's got Andrelton Simmons leading off, and a sharply hit ground ball to short. 1 out. On the other side of the coin, when you're looking at this from the Mets perspective, you have games like this. Maybe you're a team of destiny.
That's why I'm saying you just can't mess with this team right now in any way. You can't give them opportunities. You can't put people on base because they just got it working.
Now Now Christian Bethancourt, he already has one walk-off homer this year. Can he provide one here in the ninth? The walk-off homer was his first homer. It was right down the right field line. It was against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's got an infield hit and has scored a run. Another chance at short. Tejada handles this one and got it. 2 out. And Michael Bourne will be the batter. Remember, the Mets are loaded on their bench. Doesn't matter where they're hitting in the order. They've got David Wright, they've got Darno, they've got Cespedes lurking over there. So still a whole lot of offensive toys for Terry Collins to play with the expanded rosters.
I've got a total of 7 hitters still available.
7 choices?
Yes.
Wow.
And a couple pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Bourne, then Maben. But 2 are out.
Yeah, I was talking about, do you bring in David Wright the other inning? I forgot all about Cespedes is sitting on the bench too.
That's line foul and out of play. I know rosters can expand to 40 men for the September run. There are some fans who think that's way too many. They've got 38, you said? The Mets have 38 roster players?
I've never seen that many.
No. I mean, it's worked this way for 100 years or so. But it makes it very difficult, I'm sure, to strategize with the opposing manager in games like this.
It's tough on the opposing manager. Yeah.
2 balls and a strike. Ground ball to second, and Parnell has had a much needed good outing in relief. So we head back into the teeth of that New York offense. They've tied it at 7. We go to the 10th.
Season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Daniel Murphy has been a doubles machine in his big league career. He has our SunTrust save of the game honors as the Mets are down to their final out in the ninth.
And it was a save for himself in a way. Remember, he made that brutal play at second base on the ball that Freddie Freeman hit when the Braves put the 3-run inning on the board. So he certainly redeemed himself.
So Edwin Jackson is the latest Braves reliever to work. He's the 5th man to pitch in relief of Ryan Weber today. He's got Uribe, he's got Conforto, and then we'll see who's due for New York. And it'll be Uribe, then the pitcher's spot, then Kirk Neuenhuis, I beg your pardon. As Uribe starts things off, takes in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Little pop behind first, foul ground. The wind will push that out of reach of Freddie Freeman. No chance. And it's an even count. And as we mentioned, all those great hitters available for Terry Collins. Well, one of them's on deck now. Yoenis Cespedes is going to be the next hitter. Little pop, but Simmons is going to track that down. He's there. And Uribe is retired, and here is Cespedes. He has had another amazing series as a National League player. Cespedes, since being traded to the Mets, 16 homers, 41 RBIs, 35 runs scored in 39 games. 21 homers since the All-Star break. 16 since August 1st. '54 multi-hit games.
Hit a home run off Jackson here last night. Braves have issued 19 walks in this series, fellas. 7 have scored. And of those 7 that have scored, 5 by Granderson.
Two balls, 1 strike. Now it's 2-2.
And that walk by Granderson extended his streak to 9 consecutive games with at least 1 walk. Tell you what, you got a leadoff guy that can draw some walks and hit you some home runs. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Granderson with 7 leadoff homers this year for New York. He's having a great year for the Mets. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wind howling out toward the right field corner. We're in the 10th. And Cespedes is down on strikes. Joe, how are things for the hitters now with that shadow across the right-hand batter's box?
It's not bad, but I mean, they're able to track the baseball all the way to the plate. By the time it gets to the shadow right now, they've already made up their mind to swing or not swing. But as it moves out, it'll get tougher and tougher.
Well, this man in the batter's box knows a thing or two about dramatic home runs. Kirk Neuenhuis hit a huge one for the Mets against the Nationals. That was September 8th. 1 ball, no strikes. And he tagged Jonathan Papelbon as New York won all 3 games against the Nationals and come from behind fashion.
I was looking back some more of those 19 walks. 9 have been issued by the bullpen, and of the 7 that have scored, 5 were against the bullpen.
I would have to assume, guys, that going into off-season planning, that has got to be job one for the Braves. And there are a lot of jobs. Let's not sugarcoat it. But holy smokes. That is a bullpen that needs a major overhaul. 2 balls and a strike. Way high. 3-1 to Neuenhuis.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've talked about it. If you want to break the team into 3 aspects, offense, starting pitching, bullpen, I think the bullpen is obviously in need of the most fixing. I think you can make a really good argument that the other 2 are pretty close. You know, with a little bit of tinkering, obviously they'll get better, but I don't know where you start with the bullpen other than Vizcaino.
3-1 pitch is low. Another base on balls. Well, one name that will be back is Jason Grilli. He's got another year on his contract. Jason's coming back from his Achilles injury. And if I'm not mistaken, Jason's going to be in town at some point in this homestand. Hopefully we'll have a chance to chat with Grilli.
That would be great. That would be great. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to be around the guys.
Keep an eye on Neuenhuis. He's a big man, but runs pretty well.
He's how far into his, that was what, July that happened?
Right before the All-Star break.
Yeah. Surgery was just after that.
So he's 2 months into it. You remember where you were 2 months into it?
2 months. You're getting into that boot.
Yep.
And able to walk around. You know, I'm not sure he's able to put weight on it yet. Usually it's at the 12-week mark that you can start putting some weight on it. Still riding around on his scooter, I'm sure.
.1-0 pitch for Tejada. And that's out of play, and it's an even count. Washington did win today, by the way. They shut out the Marlins 5-0 down at Marlins Park. So they're interested observers in this game. It's going to take a miracle for the Nats to catch the Mets. They're 9.5 games out.
Where do they go next? It's a soft schedule for them coming up. I know that. Do they go to Philadelphia?
That sounds right.
I think that's right.
The Mets have the Marlins starting tomorrow. Let's see. Washington versus the Phillies and Aaron Nola. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's hit to right. Markakis on the run, isn't going to get there. Neuenhuis on his way to third base, and the Mets have the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Here they come with 2 outs again. And now Bethancourt's got to be on his haunches and on his toes. A ball in the dirt. Better knock it down, otherwise Neuenhuis is going to come home.
Yeah, he made a big turnaround third base here too. Good job by Tim Tuffle, just in case the Braves didn't get the ball in quickly enough.
Milwaukee, then Lagares, who kept it alive with a double in the 9th. First and third, 2 outs. Ball 1.
Infield's got to be on their toes too, Chip. They've got to knock the ball down, make a play.
Hot shot. Oh, nice play at third. Throw to second. Pulled. Castro off the bag, and the Mets have taken the lead. Oliveira had to hurry his throw on a hot shot, and his throw was to the outfield side of the bag. Castro couldn't hold the pillow, and Freddie Gonzalez wants to take a look. This is a huge replay review. If it's upheld, the Mets lead. If the call's overturned, it's the third out.
Terrific play by Oliveira. He even got a tough hop to handle. And with the shorter throw, I'm sure he thought that was the quickest place to get an out. Umpire kind of blocking our view there.
Yeah, even if you haven't had a chance to look at this, you might as well.
Yeah.
Challenge it. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, his foot's off the bag, no question.
So a fielder's choice off the bat of Plawecki is going to bring home Nieuwenhuis, who reached on a 2-out walk.
Yeah, pretty obvious. But like you said, Tom, you got to try.
Mets fans are seeing the replay review. They think they have the outcome figured out. And New York, for the moment, has an 8-7 lead. We'll see if the call is confirmed. And it should be. And the call is confirmed. New York has scored an 8th run. A walk and a homer in the 9th with 2 outs. A walk, a single, and a fielder's choice in the 10th with 2 outs has given New York a 1-run lead. And now they try to add on as Lagares is the hitter. Big double into the gap in right center field, just out of reach of Cameron Maybin. Last 4 at bats, the Mets have scored 6 runs. One ball, 1 strike. Jackson's thrown 21 pitches, 10 strikes.
Lagares was the guy who didn't follow the script. 2 out in the 9th inning. And I think the count got to 2-2, but Moylan had gotten ahead of him and looked like he hit a pretty good slider for the double. Got things started.
No swing. It's 3-1. Granderson's on deck. Told you in the 9th inning, the Mets have 14 comeback wins since the 1st of August. Talk about building momentum.
How about this road trip?
Yeah. All of their games against the Mets are against the Nationals. And another walk. Put that comeback stat in perspective. Mets have 14 comeback wins since August 1st. The Braves have 19 comeback wins all year. And now Granderson hits with the bases full of Mets. Jackson will work out of the windup.
Don't have to think back too far, Mr. Glavine, to times where when things were going good for the Braves, things like this were happening repeatedly.
Yeah, when you're going good, there isn't a game you don't think you can win. Doesn't matter score, inning.
Nowhere near. 3 balls and a strike.
Like I say, especially with the Mets right now, with all the comeback wins they've had, they're almost thinking, all right, we're down in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. We got you right where we want you.
Yeah, and again, you can go right down this roster of all these extra men they have. There's somebody that's done something along the way over the last 6 weeks that's helped them win a game, if not 2 or 3 games.
Granderson's walked for the 7th time in the series, and this one a bases loaded walk. And this was the kind of meltdown that the Mets took advantage of in Washington when they got 6 walks in 1 inning and overcame a 7-1 deficit to the Nationals. Freddie Gonzalez keeps bringing him out, and the Braves relief corps keeps on struggling. 2-run lead for New York, 9-7. Ovi Muheli and Takeo Spikes tackle all the weekend's hard-hitting action. Plus, Coach Tommy Bowden talks about the future of his dad's old program with current Florida State head coach Jimbo Fisher. ACC Gridiron Live Wednesday at 10 Eastern on Fox Sports South and streaming on Fox Sports Go. The Braves were 1 strike, 1 out away from a very, very impressive win. The bullpen, however, let it slip away in the 9th and again in the 10th. And it's Dan Barala on to try to get the final out of this 10th inning. Edwin Jackson, 2/3 of a frame, walked 3. 2 runs are in, and New York leads at 9-7. And here's the villain, Daniel Murphy, with the 3-run homer to tie it up at 7. Barawa pitched last on the 8th in Philadelphia. 3 runs, 3 hits in an inning. A walk, a strikeout, and a home run.
It's easy. It's easy for us to comment on how easy it ought to be to throw strikes and not walk guys. But it's not easy if you can't do it.
Braves relief corps has walked 5 men. Starting in the 7th inning. And there's another one.
Just awful. Just absolutely awful.
I mean, we were talking between breaks. I don't have this number. Maybe we'll get Aloysius to look it up for us. But the number of times this year the Braves relief corps has gotten the first 2 outs of an inning, followed by a hit or a walk, and then runs come across. It's unimaginably high, I would assume. And today, no different. 4 walks in the 10th inning, and the Mets have scored 3 runs. It's 10-7 now. And here's Duda. And he puts it in play to the right side. And that will mercifully end the inning.
Why swing?
Yeah. Take the break. 10-7 New York. The Mets have scored 6 runs since then. And all of the runs have come with 2 outs in the 9th, 2 outs in the 10th. And now Addison Reed has a chance to pick up a save for New York. And they try to sweep the Braves in a 4-game series in Atlanta for the first time in their franchise's history.
Another luxury here for Terry Collins in that he's got a guy he can use in a game like this to finish it up. And it is a save situation, but he can give Familia another day off.
Well, Cameron Maybin is going to lead things off for Atlanta. First game action for Maybin in a while. Told you about his eye issues. Chance for him to get in the swing of things here before the Blue Jays come to town on Tuesday night. They've been last played last Saturday. And Reed delivers a strike. This is another one of those under radar moves that Tom Glavine was talking about earlier in today's game. All about Cespedes and company, about Tyler Clippard. But this guy has been a really good major league pitcher for a while.
And yes, now that shadow is tough.
Just what a guy who's had eye trouble needs.
Yeah. Got a good cut at that.
Reed has not given up a run as a Met. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nine strikeouts in his first 7 innings. And there's one in the Atlanta 10th. Maben's down swinging, 1 away. Markakis to short and booted. That got through Tejada. Let's see how that scored. Markakis aboard with 1 out.
Base hit. That's what I say.
Ruled an error.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh.
That's inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Popped up. Center of the diamond. And Murphy's got that. Now the Braves are down to their last out.
It's almost like if the Mets didn't lose this game, they may never lose again.
Right.
I mean, that's how they pulled this out of the fire.
Well, you're right. Let's think of it from the Braves' perspective. How are we going to win a game? I mean, we got Toronto coming into town and that offense. And there aren't any more reinforcements coming up to help the pen. Fly ball to right. And Granderson's going to catch it. The New York Mets have swept the Braves in a 4-game series. They were down to their last strike, their last out, trailing 7-4 in the 9th inning. And they score 6 unanswered runs and reduce their magic number in the East to 11. This one really hurt. 10-7 New York at the final. Bobby Parnell beats Edwin Jackson, and Addison Reed picks up his 4th save.